Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. Quick post on Groundhog's Day, another Freemason tradition, as so many holidays are in this very Masonic nation, the United States of America. If you're not aware, Groundhog's Day takes place every February 2nd, the 33rd day of the year. Because this year is a leap year, it also happens to be the day that leaves 333 days left in the year. The number 33 is a number of Freemason obsession, and if you're new here, what I talk about a lot is the language of gematria, which is something the Freemasons use, the practice of coding numbers into words. Notice that Groundhog Day has gematria of 139, just like Freemasonry. And there's also a method where you reduce each letter before you add Pythagorean gematria. In this format, Groundhog Day equals 67, also connected to Freemasonry, which equals 58 and 67 with this smaller method. Today, 2016, it was cloudy, so there was no shadow for the groundhog, they tell us. And this means, in their tradition, that spring will come early. As someone who lives in Washington State, I can only hope. They do this in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, which has gematria of 58, also like Freemasonry the small way, no surprise. Pennsylvania is the Keystone State. Keystone has gematria of 33. If you want to learn this gematria language, it's best to practice it by hand and learn the code, but there's these websites. You can just search gematria calculator, and it makes things real easy. Keystone the small way, 33. This tradition in the Keystone State on the 33rd day of the year. They call the area they do it at Gobbler's Knob, which has gematria of 50, just like Punxsutawney the small way. This is a special number for this nation as well. America with simple English gematria equals 50. Think about the 50 states. His full name, the groundhog Punxsutawney Phil, has gematria of 77 and 86. 86 is an interesting number because words such as symbol, triangle, and pyramid all have gematria of 86. Masonic symbolism. Freemasonry is also highly associated with Judaism. It was the Zionists, the Jews, who financed this nation. The American meridian's the 77th meridian. Notice that Judaism also sums to 77. Gobbler's Knob in simple English gematria sums to 122, a number connected to Freemason through the Francis Bacon form of gematria. All very familiar numbers in this study. And of course, there's the famous film Bill Murray in Groundhog's Day. Notice that Murray is a name with 33 gematria. Bill Murray equals 50, just like Punxsutawney, just like Gobbler's Knob. Perfect. The Masons, the Zionist Jews, they control Hollywood, they control the media. They do almost everything by this numerological code. It's a tradition that started in 1887. That means it's 129 years old this year. I wonder what will happen 10 years from now when it's 139 years old, like Freemasonry. With regards to holidays, which Groundhog's Day is recognized as, show you something about that word. Holiday has gematria of 74, just like Masonic, just like Jewish. Think about this nation's birthday, 7-4, July 4th. In the history of Thanksgiving, the events that created it were spaced out by 74 years. George Washington first had it celebrated as kind of like a one-time special event, November 26, 1789. Exactly 74 years later, Lincoln made it an official holiday, November 26, 1863. FDR, on November 26, 1941, made it so that it was the fourth Thursday of every November. This year, this past year, 2015, we had Thanksgiving on November 26th, exactly 74 years later. Thanksgiving in gematria sums to 96, like Freemason. In history, they say the original pilgrims that came over and had the first Thanksgiving left on September 6th, 9-6. Freemason history by the numbers. They say there were 102 passengers originally, like United States of America. United States of America has a gematria of 102. Show you something interesting. This film came out in 93. Notice it ran an hour and 42 minutes. What else happened in 93 was the World Trade Center bombing. And on September 11th, the attack lasted 102 minutes and was blamed on Al-Qaeda. Notice Al-Qaeda sums to 102. They said the attack lasted 102 minutes. 102 is also the same as an hour and 42, which kind of looks like 142. Look at the gematria of terrorist. This is what's going on in this world, Truth Seeker, and ever since September 11th, there's been a quickening in the media of propaganda stories that remind us of propaganda stories from just weeks before. We're living out Bill Murray's existence of Groundhog's Day with all this fake terrorism by the numbers that's put on by the Masons and the Zionists. Remember, Bill Murray, not the happiest character in that movie, and most Americans living in this nation are not the happiest people either for a lot of reasons. So that concludes the Groundhog Day lesson. Hope you learned something new. Until next time.